Tonight on WTOP-10 Nightly News, Lakers are donating their dinner tonight. Who is supporting?
And we have an update on a story we brought to you last week, what campus safety is saying about unlockable doors.
Plus, spring break is just around the corner, where the best deal is to fill up your gas tank on your way out.
WTOP-10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP-10 Nightly News. I'm Ryan Skinner.
And I'm Clarissa Karki.
The Student Association is hosting the Miss a Meal program this week after a 3-year hiatus due to COVID-19.
Our reporter Sydney Selleck was in Cooper Hall tonight to talk to some members of the Students Association. Sydney joins us in the studio now. Sydney, what can you tell us?
Thank you, Clarissa. Miss a Meal is a traditional program started here at SUNY Oswego that has helped people in need across the world through Lakers' generous donations of a single meal from their meal plans. I spoke with Student Association member Cameron Brown about the event and its return to campus and whether or not it'll be here to stay.
I think it is something that they plan to bring back in the future. Like since we've had some success with this event. I think just Tuesday we actually got 100 people on a piece of paper to sign up for Miss a Meal and volunteer for it, or at least donate.
This year's fundraiser aimed at aiding individuals in Turkey and Syria who suffered a severe 7.8 magnitude earthquake in early February. Students who donate a meal could not use their meal plan in a residential dining hall center during dinner tonight. Now back to Ryan and Clarissa at the desk.
SUNY Oswego is providing $400 in funding for registered student organizations to create their own unique Earth Month event or initiative. The hope is to inspire students to make change in the campus community. These events can take place any day throughout the month of April. SUNY Oswego suggests that all clubs interested should apply for the funding through the Oswego website. Organizations will be asked to select which goals they feel passionate about.
The New York State Association of Reduction, Reuse, and Recycling is awarding SUNY Oswego's Office of Sustainability and its manager, Kate Spector, the 2022 College Recycling Award for their composting project. A year ago, the Office of Sustainability teamed up with auxiliary services to compost both pre-consumed food waste and non-donatable leftover food from the dining hall. Since then, the composting project has diverted more than 80,000 pounds of food wastes from landfill and incinerators. An update to a story we told to you last week where our reporters Natalie Barden showed us SUNY Oswego's new online emergency response training course. While taking the training, Natalie noticed one of its recommendations from active shooter situations would be difficult to follow.
The training says to lock classroom doors from the inside, but many of the classroom doors we tested either didn't have interior locks or couldn't be locked without a key. Natalie spoke to University Police Chief Scott Swayze and the college's Vice President of Finance, Victoria Furlong. They told her about more changes coming to campus to improve safety.
When students return from spring break later this month, these posters will be hung up in every room on the SUNY Oswego campus. University Police Chief Scott Swayze says they're meant to remind students, staff, and faculty of how to react in case of an emergency. Swayze also brought me printed examples of different ways to barricade a classroom door when the door does not lock. They are as simple as creating a barricade out of desks to as creative as using a belt, computer wires, or even body weight to hold a door shut. But in the heat of an emergency situation, who is going to know how to react? That's where Swayze says voluntary physical trainings with staff and faculty can come into play.
We do in-person trainings.
Okay.
These are all discussed as alternatives to if a door doesn't secure, a door doesn't lock. We always encourage this. One of the things that we would tell students is that that's okay, that it's good that you haven't encountered this and haven't had to but through our awareness training that we do and some of the follow-up training, these are just some small things that we use to kind of show some of the techniques that are out there.
In the coming years, Vice President of Finance Victoria Furlong says locking doors may be less of a concern on the SUNY Oswego campus. When construction on Hewitt Hall is complete in 2025, it will only be accessible by an ID card. This will give university police the ability to remotely lock down specific rooms or wings if needed. Although there are no specific plans for for it yet, Furlong says the university is hoping to expand keyless access to on-campus buildings.
Next, we'll be moving into Mahar. Mahar will be the same way. So Mahar will be, that's kind of an implementation feature in all of our major building renovations, is to now ensure that it's fully key access or card access, or not key access, card access or fob access, where there can be a little bit more control over the end users that are ultimately allowed in different spaces within that particular building.
Swayze and Furlong say that university plans to introduce a video series within the next year. The series will show how to respond in emergency situations in different spaces that are specific to SUNY Oswego campus.
Swayze encourages anyone with questions about emergency preparedness to email the university police. The email is below, police@oswego.edu.
Gas prices increased by nearly a dime since last week, but it may not be sustained for very long. If you're looking to fill up your tank while heading home for spring break, here are some gas prices around Oswego. Fast Track has gas for $3.59 a gallon. Both 7-Eleven and Burn Dairy offer it for $3.55, and the lowest of them all, Rise and Shine at East Oneida Street, has a gallon of gas for $3.45.
Emil Chrisman is taking over as the owner of River's End Bookstore. Emil plans to keep the same strategy of customer and community engagement that his parents, who owned the bookstore before him, displayed. Chrisman said that it is the balance between innovation and tried and true practices the bookstore will be focused on maintaining and growing their customer base. With spring break just around the corner, the temperatures still feel like it's the middle of winter.
Storm Team 10 Chief Meteorologist Evan Biedron is here with a quick look at weather. Evan?
Yes, we will be seeing more of those winter-like temperatures stick around the area. As you can see across most of New York, we can see pretty cloudy skies, but that will not be the case as many of you head home for spring break tomorrow, as we will have some snow showers impacting your travel as you head home. I have your full forecast coming up. Back to Clarissa at the desk.
Coming up later tonight, another Norfolk Southern train has derailed. Where this happened and the official response.
And overnight Russian missile attacks on Ukraine, what President Zelensky has to say.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No, but you've got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
Roll it.
Jill told me it was Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
It's Al Roker.
Welcome back. I'm your Storm Team 10 meteorologist, Evan Biedron, and here's a quick look at NOAA's 16-day outlook for temperatures as many of you head off home for spring break or maybe even on vacation for spring break. Looking at the map, you can see fairly cool temperatures across most of the country, but if you're heading down south, maybe to the Midwest or even to Florida or anywhere south of there, we can see pretty normal temperatures. So if you're heading down there, have fun, good luck. Hopefully you get there safe and have a lot of good times. And as we look at our day planner for tomorrow, we can see at 9 a.m. we have about 30 degrees temperature with a northeast wind about 8 to 12 miles per hour. But as we hit 1 p.m. heading closer to dinner time, that's where we can see many of these flurries start to impact our area. So if you're heading home after classes, maybe after 2 or 3 p.m., you may want to build in some extra time as you head out on the road because we will have some of those flurries and snow showers impacting your travel. So just make sure to be safe on those roadways as you head out. And as we look for today's air quality, we can see it's unhealthy for some people. Maybe some of you have been feeling a little under the weather or pretty hard to breathe as you head out the door to classes or work. And it's because our air quality is not the greatest. So if you're having some trouble breathing, maybe some illness, that is why. And as we look for a spring break forecast, we can see as you head home, we will have some of those snow showers again, like I said, with a high temperature of about 36. But when you return for spring break, we will be seeing some rain with a temperature of about 39 and a northeast wind of 8 to 14 miles per hour. So make sure to build an extra time as you head back from spring break. And as you look at our 7-day forecast, we can see on Friday 36 degrees. As we head into the weekend, we can see those temperatures decrease just a slight bit as we will have some light snow showers impacting our area. But as we move into early next week, we will see more of a rain-snow mix as those temperatures increase. And as we head through the mid part of next week, we will see those temperatures decrease again with those roller coaster temperatures we've been seeing all throughout winter, with some more rain-snow mixes moving through our area. And I'm back to Ryan and Clarissa at the desk.
Thank you, Evan. A Norfolk Southern cleaning crew is working in Alabama after another train derailed this morning. Norfolk Southern says the train was traveling westbound from Atlanta to Meridian, Mississippi, when it derailed in a wooded area near the Iron City motorway. The Quad Cities Fire Department says no hazardous materials were released, and there is no danger to the public. Norfolk Southern has a cleanup crew on the scene, but it's not clear how long the process will take.
There are no issues.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is in the hospital after a serious fall on Wednesday night. A spokesperson for McConnell says the Republican leader tripped and fell at a private dinner event at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in Washington, D.C. The spokesperson says McConnell is being treated for a concussion and will likely stay in the hospital for a couple of days. McConnell is the third U.S. senator to be hospitalized in a recent couple of weeks. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer had some harsh words for Fox News host Tucker Carlson Tuesday morning. Speaking on the Senate floor, Schumer said Carlson's decision to air footage of the January 6th attack on the Capitol was a deep dive into the, quote, waters of conspiracy, unquote. Schumer said Carlson was lying when he said the attack wasn't violent and that Fox News knows he's lying.
To say January 6th was not violent is a lie pure and simple. I don't think I've ever seen a primetime cable news anchor manipulate his viewers the way Mr. Carlson did last night. I don't think I've ever seen an anchor treat the American people and American democracy with such disdain. And he's going to...
Russia is escalating their war with Ukraine with overnight missile strikes. Beyond the eastern front, Russian rockets hit as far west as Lviv near the Polish border. Chris Wynn has the latest.
In Ukraine, Russia launching one of its biggest aerial assaults Thursday. Ukrainian officials counting 81 missiles targeting critical and civilian infrastructure across the country, killing at least 11 people.
This was a sizable set of airstrikes with a mix of platforms.
The large-scale attack, including the rare use of 6 Kinzhal hypersonic missiles, which eluded Kyiv's air defenses. These jet-fired missiles have a longer range, as well as the ability to attack from multiple directions. Their use could signal a shift in Russian strategy, as the U.S. is questioned about how it will support Ukraine moving forward.
There's no plans to train Ukrainian pilots right now on the F-16. It's air defense, it's armor, it's artillery, and it's ammunition. And that's what we're focused on providing them.
But in the western city of Lviv, far from the front lines of the war, rescuers continue to search for victims after 3 residential buildings were destroyed. The Russian Ministry of Defense says the strikes were retaliation for an alleged incursion last week by a pro-Ukrainian armed group in Russia's Bryansk region. A local official says 2 civilians were killed, but Ukraine denies any involvement, and CNN can't confirm Russia's claims. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he has no plans to meet with Russia's president anytime soon.
We have to concentrate, strengthen forces and new weaponry from our partners in order to conduct our counter-offensive operation.
I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
Coming up on WTOP-10 Nightly News, Yeti has a major recall on products. What you should be looking for.
Plus, a new study on athletes with a heart defect. More in today's Health Minute.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Shine on that black.
Look at the bling. Look at the, do we got a diamond tester on?
Yeah, that's getting bad. Yep.
10 out of 10 recommend on Yelp.
We're going to the playoffs.
I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
What? I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride.
Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what?
Yep, that's mine.
I'm gonna need that back.
No.
Kevin!
Welcome back to WTOP-10 Nightly News.
Here is your Health and Consumer Report.
Yeti is recalling nearly 2 million Yeti coolers and gear cases. The products include the Yeti Hopper M30 Soft Cooler 1.0 and 2.0, the Hopper M20 Soft Backpack Cooler and Sidekick Dry Gear Case. The coolers and cases have magnet-lined closures which can fail, resulting in detached magnets. This can cause injuries and even death. Consumers are urged to stop using the product and contact Yeti to replace the product or receive a refund.
The cost when it comes to buying groceries is high, even when the cost of food is down. Food producers raised prices when costs went up. The price for ingredients has been on a downswing the past few months. Critics say that companies see people pay high prices because they are in no rush to pay less. Between January 2022 and January 2023, grocery bills went up more than 11%.
On Wednesday, former CDC Director Robert Redfield called for a change on controversial medical research. When testifying to the House Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic, Redfield called to end a so-called gain-of-function research. Redfield says he believes it is not worth the risk, and the decisions made by research should not be only made by scientists.
I think the people that are advocates for gain-of-function research do believe that by doing this research, they somehow get ahead of the curve. I'm of the point of view that we don't need to make pathogens more transmissible or more pathogenic in order to get ahead of the curve. We can begin to deal with those pathogens as they evolve. I don't think this should be a decision made by scientists alone. This is a societal decision. There should be a broad debate about whether this research is really necessary. And if so, we should decide.
Redfield is not the first person to call for change. In March, a panel from the Institute of Health says the U.S. needs oversight on research on risky types of viruses. People who play sports and have a heart condition can still participate. Mandy Gaither has more in today's Health Minute.
The reports are rare but alarming. Elite athletes experiencing heart problems or even suddenly collapsing during games.
The notion has been out there for 3 decades plus that unless your heart is perfect, no sport's for you.
Mayo Clinic cardiologist Michael Ackerman says athletes with diagnosed genetic heart conditions should not be automatically disqualified due to their health conditions.
If you have a diagnosed heart condition that has been evaluated, carefully evaluated, well treated, and you have been counseled in the approach of shared decision making, that you can return to what you love.
Ackerman's senior author of a study that hasn't yet been published in a peer-reviewed journal, but for an average of 7 years, researchers followed dozens of elite athletes from a variety of Division I and professional sports. All had a diagnosed genetic heart condition and were cleared for return to play. Of the 76 studied, 3 had cardiac events after being diagnosed and treated, either fainting or a shock from an implanted defibrillator. None of the athletes died, and most continued their sports career with no heart-related events.
It's a great message of hope and empowerment that it's now partly in your court.
Ackerman says athletes should know their story, speak up if there are concerning symptoms like suddenly fainting, and know your family history. Are there warning signs or unexplained deaths? Then work with your healthcare team to decide if continuing sports is right for you. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Coming up, Matthew Sheremeta has your look at sports.
Matthew, how's the sports season starting for the Lakers?
Well, Clarissa, the Oswego State women's lacrosse team is off to a scorching hot start to their season as men's basketball looks to extend their own season in tournament play. Plus, a look at what's going on in the professional sport leagues. I'll have more for you right after the break.
Welcome back to Major Discussions.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
And welcome back to WTOP-10. I'm Matthew Sheremeta, and here's your Thursday night sports report. Starting things off, the Oswego State women's lacrosse team took a trip over to Morrisville this afternoon to take on the Mustangs. The Lakers came out the gates firing as they took a huge 8-0 lead in the first period. Madison Davis would have already acquired a hat trick, scoring 3 goals before the second period of play, where the Lakers would score another 7 unanswered goals. The Lakers continue to dominate throughout the second half of play, finishing on top in a blowout, 21-4 victory. Davis wasn't the only Laker with a hat trick today, as 3 of her teammates also picked up at least 3 goals apiece. The Lakers start their season with a strong 3-1 record and will stay on the road to face St. John Fisher on Wednesday. And looking ahead into tomorrow, the Oswego State men's basketball team will travel to Ashland, Virginia to take on the number 1 ranked Randolph-Macon Yellow Jackets in the Sweet 16 of the Division III NCAA tournament. The Lakers are shooting 45% from the floor, averaging 73 points in tournament play. They'll need to bring their best offensive efforts tomorrow, as the Yellow Jackets have, fitting to their name, been a swarm on defense, allowing 54.3 points per game in the regular season and only 38.5 points so far in the tournament. The winner will head on to the quarterfinals, which will be played at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday. And Yankee fans, you may want to plug your ears for this next story, as recently acquired Carlos Rodon will start his regular season on the injured list with a mild forearm strain. Rodon was picked up this offseason on a 6-year, $162 million contract to add to the already impressive Yankee rotation. However, this preseason injury serves as a huge blow to the starting rotation, as Rodon has a 2.67 ERA and a near 34% strikeout rate over his last 2 seasons. Yankee fans are hopeful that these numbers carry over when Rodon rejoins the team in mid to late April. Other noticeable Yankee players placed on the IL earlier today are Lou Trevino and Tommy Kahnle. And not all hope is lost for the sports fans, though, in New York. However, as New York Knicks are red hot going into Sacramento to take on the Kings. The New York Knicks are 20-12 in away games this season and look to win their 5th straight game on the road. The last time these two teams met, Knicks guard R.J. Barrett led the charge with 27 points in a 112-99 point victory. The Knicks have won 9 out of their last 10 games, averaging 122.4 points while shooting 50.4% from the field. Kings point guard De'Aaron Fox is set to return to the lineup tonight after nursing a hamstring injury, while Knicks guard Jalen Brunson is listed as a game-time decision. Tip-off is tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT. And if you can't wait for basketball, well, we'll take a look at the college hoops. We'll get your basketball dreams ready as Matthew Marsh throws down the alley. Wake Forest taking on Miami here. That's Matthew Marsh throwing down. He's got 6 points on the game. Cameron Hildreth's going to show off his handle now. Making some moves at the top, drives to the basket, working on Omer, kicks out to Appleby. Appleby pulls up from way downtown. It's pure. Appleby ties the game up with 5 to go in the first. Now we're in the second. Miami, the lead is extended. It's a step back, plenty of room to score, and he's going to get it to go. Miami cheerleaders loving what they see. That's Isaiah Wong with 17 points in the game. Fast forward late, the lead starting to shrink in the game. It's in Appleby's hands. No room to shoot. Throws it up anyway. Clutch 3-pointer from Appleby. And now it's in Williamson's. He's going to work over in the corner to Hildreth. Hildreth throws up the 3. Ice in his veins. Wake Forest must foul here. It's Poplar looking to close it out. Clinks off. Derek Carr, not Derek Carr. He's on the Raiders, but he's there for the rebound. Throws up the prayer from Williamson. And it's no good. Miami will move on to the ACC semifinals. Final score 74-72. Man, what a nail-biter here. Can't wait for March Madness coming up later this month.
That's our report for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned in for the season premiere of The Bigger Picture.